The U.S. and Israel have intensified their offensive against Iran and its regional proxies as tensions escalate on day 8 since the launch of the operation. Early this morning, Israeli warplanes launched a massive strike on Tehran, targeting key government infrastructure. Multiple explosions lit up the sky in western Tehran as the capital came under heavy attack. Iranian state media reported blasts near Mehrabad airport, one of the city's major civilian airfields. Since Friday, Israeli army claimed to have struck more than 400 targets across Iran, including ballistic missile launchers and UAV storage facilities, while underscoring the scale of its sustained bombing campaign. Israel claims it's mainly targeted Iran's military sites. However, Iran's government has reported significant damage to residential areas, homes, and medical facilities. It claimed 390 residential units, 528 commercial centers, and 13 medical sites have been hit since the U.S.-Israeli bombing campaign started last week. Now, the latest offensive comes as IDF detected another round of Iranian missile fire headed towards Israel. The Israeli military said that the air defenses were responding to the latest missile attack as a series of explosions were heard in Tel Aviv following the launches. Israel's emergency service has reported no casualties. Israel has accused Iran of using cluster bombs multiple times since the war began. It says use of cluster munitions against civilians constitutes a war crime. Israeli police has confirmed evidence of cluster munitions after recent missile strikes and issued a public warning about the dangers of unexploded ordnance. Now, meanwhile, Israel's military chief, Lieutenant General Eyal Zamir, has said its forces were crushing the Iranian regime and promised to seize every opportunity to deepen their achievements. He announced that the joint U.S.-Israeli military campaign had entered a new phase and warned that additional surprises were in store for Tehran. Houthi supporters, on the other hand, staged a rally in Sana'a, Yemen, voicing solidarity with Iran and Lebanon as regional tensions rise. In a televised speech, the Iran-backed Houthi leader warned that his group was prepared to launch strikes at any moment, signaling a potential escalation in the conflict. All right, to discuss more, we're now being joined by Adrian Calamil from New York. He is a fellow at the Arabian Peninsula Institute, terrorism and Middle Eastern scholar. Thank you so much for joining us on the broadcast. Always a pleasure talking to you. I would like to begin by talking about this budget that U.S. has now approved. It's $151.8 million munition sales, to Israel. Concerning the fact that this is happening while there's also the U.S. Customs that has said that it's going to take 45 days to set up a new system, and the officials are saying that the current processes cannot handle the 330,000 importers. Concerning the fact that these two things are happening, how do you assess this kind of package to Israel at this moment?
Well, it's great to see you again, Josna, and pleasure to be on the show again. With this package, a lot of the what we're seeing, he met with the heads of Northrop Grumman, Lockheed Martin, all the different defense companies, Honeywell, Harris Interactive, and it was, I think, I don't know the specifics come out of the meeting, but I think it has to do with defense systems, layered defense systems, to continue to protect the population. The ballistic missile strikes are definitely down. They've done a good job with taking them out. I think it's probably to backfill some of the gaps that they have, because as you noted earlier, the Houthis have not really, they've been kind of silent. They've been silent pretty much throughout this. And Hezbollah has started to act up, and the Iraqi proxies really haven't carried out too much action as of yet.
And that being said, as you mentioned, Hezbollah has now deployed its elite Radwan forces to the southern Lebanon to confront the advancing Israeli troops. How do you look at this development, and do you think this is a time that the other Iran-backed groups will be making a move? Because till now, as you mentioned, they haven't. What could be the reason, and what does this elite Radwan forces entering this war, this phase, mean?
Well, with the Radwan forces, it's interesting because during 2 years of operations that Israel conducted against them in southern Lebanon and all other parts of the region, they were really decimated. And one of the final coup de grace was if you remember, the walkie-talkies that went
Yes.
up. That eliminated a lot of the commanders, and so they've got an issue now with the Houthis. That's a whole another issue. That Operation Rough Rider, really, it was carried out early in the Trump administration, didn't really do the necessary damage to their ballistic missile capabilities, to their drone capabilities. The same things that we're seeing out of the Islamic Republic. And I think that's why we're seeing the George H.W. Bush being mobilized, another strike group being mobilized. It'll be in the Mediterranean. Now we see the Ford is moving down the Red Sea. So as the regime threatens the Strait of Hormuz, the Houthis will start to threaten the Bab el-Mandeb Strait and the Red Sea. And so that's again there for force protection.